Why is a sharp rise of luxury homes hitting the market across Southwest Florida right now? Looking at this 10-year graph, which shows the number of $1 million plus homes listed on the market back to 2014, we can draw out a few conclusions. Number one, prior to 2020, the luxury home market was fairly balanced across the county, with predictable yearly supply cycles. Number two, most sellers choose February to list their home, which is no surprise given that people want to get buyers looking to move during the spring and summer in time for the end of the school year, not to mention grab the snowbird and seasonal market whilst the weather's good. Number three, once COVID hit in March 2020, inventory plummeted. Again, no surprises there. People weren't listing their homes due to the uncertainty of what lay ahead of us. But now look at the rise in new listings since Q4 2023 and continuing today. What could be causing this sharp rise? Bearing in mind this doesn't even include new construction units coming to the market. Well, here are my thoughts. Since 2020, average home values have increased by 83% across Sarasota County, meaning long-standing homeowners have built up a lot of equity in a very short period of time. You see, home values are at all-time highs in many areas, and homeowners, people who have built up a lot of equity at least, are looking to take advantage of these prices now before what could be a tumultuous presidential election cycle, not to mention wider global tensions right now. And now the pandemic is firmly behind us. Inflation has cooled quite a bit, although still not meeting the Fed's target rate of 2%. And it's still expected in some circles that mortgage rates will trend downwards towards 5% later this year, which in my personal view is definitely debatable given what's happening in the wider economy. But there are homeowners who have been sitting on the sidelines since 2020, waiting to see where the wind was blowing before selling, and so now are taking advantage of the traditionally popular spring buying season and listing their homes on the market. So in part, what we're seeing is 3 years of pent-up seller demand coming to market. However, this isn't the only reason for rising inventory. In many aspects, Florida is a lot more expensive today than it's ever been. Homeowners insurance, property taxes, mortgage costs, and of course HOA fees have all increased. So for many, what was once a popular second home to catch some sunshine a few months of the year doesn't make sense financially anymore given the higher holding costs. So for some sellers at least, affordability is the reason they're listing their homes right now. For other sellers who may have been compelled to buy down here in Florida during COVID, they've now been here for a few years and have realized it's not necessarily the life for them, leading them to listing their home on the market, heading back up north as the country has now removed all of its COVID restrictions. So what we're seeing in inventory levels across Sarasota County right now is a market correction in the supply-demand imbalance, which is not necessarily a bad thing because let's be honest for a minute. The intense buying activity with very low levels of inventory from 2020 to 2022 was not natural market dynamics in play. No, this was a result of government policy influencing migration patterns at a time of record low interest rates and therefore cheap and easy access to money. So this spike in inventory for $1 million plus homes in Sarasota, considering it's only resales, suggests a market that is still undergoing significant adjustments post-pandemic. Factors including pent-up seller demand, changing buyer preferences and requirements, economic influences, and potential market corrections are all contributing to the increased inventory levels. For sellers, this environment underscores the importance of strategic pricing and working with an experienced, professional, and knowledgeable agent that understands buyer trends and effectively marketing their properties to stand out in a much more crowded marketplace. Buyers, on the other hand, will find more negotiating power and more options available to them as the pendulum shifts, making it a potentially good time to enter the market. As Warren Buffett is famous for saying, "Be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy."